In a world where kindness is often lauded as the ultimate virtue, it might seem heretical to suggest there's such a thing as being too nice. Yet, by taking a step back and examining the philosophy of Stoicism, we discover a framework that emphasizes balance, wisdom, and self-care. This framework hints that our constant compulsion to be agreeable might actually lead us astray from personal well-being and rational living. Stoicism teaches us the importance of cultivating emotional resilience and not letting external factors unduly influence our inner peace. But when we constantly prioritize the needs and desires of others over our own, are we truly living a life of balance? Stoic principles suggest that true wisdom lies in understanding the limitations of our generosity and ensuring that our acts of kindness don't compromise our own moral and emotional stability. This conversation isn't just a philosophical musing. It has deep practical implications. Our inability to say no or our relentless pursuit of pleasing others can lead to emotional exhaustion, strained relationships, and lost opportunities for personal growth. By delving into the potential pitfalls of excessive kindness, we're not dismissing the value of compassion and generosity. Instead, we're exploring how to apply these qualities judiciously. We want to ensure they contribute to our happiness and the well-being of those around us, rather than becoming sources of stress and resentment. This approach resonates deeply with the Stoic idea that virtue lies in moderation and that the wisdom of our choices reflects our understanding of life's complexities. Let's unfold this intriguing paradox together. How can the very kindness meant to bind us to others sometimes end up isolating us? How does our desire to be liked or needed sometimes lead us away from making decisions that align with our true selves? As we navigate these questions, we'll uncover insights on how to harness the strengths of kindness while guarding against its excesses. This journey will lead us towards fostering a life of balance, fulfillment, and true Stoic wisdom. And as always, if you appreciate what we're doing here, there's a simple favor we'd ask: hit the subscribe button. Let's embark on this exploration together. Emotional burnout. Emotional burnout is more than just hitting a snooze button on your internal alarm clock for a day. It's a full-fledged state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. This exhaustion is the unwelcome consequence of prolonged stress, often arising directly from the relentless effort to meet the emotional needs of others while neglecting your own. The Stoic philosophy, known for its emphasis on moderation and self-control, serves as a cautionary tale here. Stoics warn us about the dangers of losing ourselves in the pursuit of outward duties and fulfilling the expectations of others. They believe that our primary responsibility lies with ourselves, not in a selfish way, but in a way that ensures our strength, stability, and capability before we extend ourselves to help others. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the importance of maintaining one's character in the face of external pressures. He advocated for a life guided by virtue and reason, a life that inherently includes knowing when to draw boundaries. In real life, emotional burnout creeps in when you find yourself constantly playing the role of the supportive friend, the ever-present listening ear, or the go-to problem solver. Initially, this role might make you feel valued and needed. However, the chronic stress from this continuous emotional labor can manifest in symptoms like irritability, a decline in work performance, feelings of detachment, and a dwindling sense of personal accomplishment. This isn't just a psychological phenomenon. It has physiological consequences too, potentially leading to insomnia, headaches, and a weakened immune system. From a Stoic perspective, cultivating emotional resilience is key. We can nurture this resilience by developing a more objective view of our interactions with others. The Stoics teach us to differentiate between what's truly within our control and what isn't. In the context of kindness, this translates to understanding that while you can offer support, you cannot control others' actions or bear the full weight of their emotional burdens without depleting your own resources. To combat emotional burnout, it's crucial to set realistic expectations for both yourself and others about what you can give and to recognize when it's time to step back. It involves acknowledging that true kindness extends to oneself as well. It's about striking a balance where compassion doesn't morph into self-sacrifice. This balance is the essence of Stoicism, ensuring that our efforts to help others don't lead to the neglect of our own well-being, thereby preserving our ability to be a force for good in the long run. Hinder to personal growth. Stoicism isn't just about feeling good. It's about living a life brimming with purpose and virtue. It compels us to take ownership of our lives, shaping them with clear reason, well-considered choices, and deliberate actions. While prioritizing others' needs can initially bring a sense of fulfillment, it can also subtly lead us astray from nurturing our inner growth. This might look like neglecting hobbies, putting educational pursuits on hold, or even stalling our careers because we're constantly helping others navigate their challenges. This redirection of energy is where Stoicism offers a valuable perspective. Stoicism acknowledges the nobility in helping others, but it emphasizes that this shouldn't come at the expense of our own moral and intellectual development. The philosophy emphasizes cultivating core virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Each of these is essential not just for ourselves, but also in how we interact with the world. When we tip the scales too far towards excessive altruism, we risk neglecting these virtues. By avoiding setting boundaries or pursuing what's just for ourselves, we might shy away from confrontations or necessary conflicts that foster growth, simply out of a desire to remain amiable or overly accommodating. Additionally, excessive kindness can lead to stagnation, where personal goals are not just postponed but forgotten altogether. This stagnation can create a life that feels unbalanced and unfulfilling. Seneca, a prominent Stoic thinker, emphasized the brevity of life and the importance of living it in a way that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. He warned against frittering away our time on pursuits that don't resonate with our core nature and personal ambitions. Regular self-reflection is crucial to assess whether our kindness is enriching our lives or hindering our growth. This involves asking ourselves tough questions. Are we truly making choices that align with our values, or simply reacting to the needs of others? It's about ensuring our generosity doesn't lead to self-neglect. Stoicism doesn't advocate for abandoning kindness. It suggests a more balanced approach. Self-care and personal ambitions shouldn't be overshadowed by the desire to help others. This balanced approach ensures our acts of kindness are sustainable and contribute positively not only to the lives of others, but also to our own continuous growth and well-being. In essence, Stoicism teaches us to nurture our own garden first, so that with vigor and wisdom, we can better serve the gardens of those around us. Attraction of manipulation. While extending kindness is a noble act, showering it without boundaries can create unintended consequences. It can be misconstrued as weakness, an invitation for unreasonable demands, or a beacon for those seeking personal gain rather than mutual respect. These one-sided relationships are not only draining but fundamentally contradict Stoic principles. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of discernment alongside benevolence. He believed true wisdom lies in identifying who deserves help and the appropriate extent of that help. This discernment safeguards against enabling negative behaviors like greed or dependence. It prevents us from falling into a cycle of attracting and nurturing manipulative relationships. People who view our kindness as an exploitable resource, not a virtue to reciprocate, leave us drained while their demands only escalate. Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic giant, advocated for acting with both kindness and prudence. He urged us to consider not only the good in our actions, but also their impact on ourselves and a greater good. This perspective is crucial. It highlights the need to balance our desire for kindness with protecting our well-being and avoiding manipulative relationships. Stoicism encourages establishing healthy boundaries and cultivating self-respect. It reminds us that true kindness extends to ourselves as well, meaning we shouldn't allow our generosity to be taken advantage of. By adopting a Stoic approach to relationships, we learn to offer help that is not just generous but also wise, ensuring its sustainability and genuine benefit for everyone involved. This balanced approach fosters relationships built on mutual respect and support, not exploitation and manipulation. It allows our kindness to flourish and create a more positive and fulfilling social connection. Compromised decision-making. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on rationality as the guiding force in our decision-making. It champions the use of clear thought over fleeting emotions, particularly when kindness threatens to cloud our judgment. While kindness is a noble virtue, unchecked generosity can lead us down paths that ultimately conflict with our core values and long-term goals. This can manifest in numerous ways, from overburdening ourselves with commitments that clash with our personal or professional aspirations to sacrificing potential opportunities that require prioritizing ourselves over others for a brief period. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously advocated for reason as the cornerstone of a meaningful life, urging us to avoid letting emotions dictate our choices. This principle becomes particularly relevant when we consider how compromising decisions can lead to a life feeling unfulfilled or misaligned with our deepest desires. In practical terms, consistently prioritizing the needs and desires of others over our own can leave us engaged in activities that neither contribute to our personal growth nor bring us satisfaction. This is where the Stoic practice of self-examination becomes invaluable. By regularly reflecting on whether our decisions truly reflect our core values and priorities, we can course correct and ensure that our kindness is both wise and measured. Seneca, another influential Stoic thinker, argued that true freedom lies in living congruently with one's principles and having the courage to decline requests when necessary. This ability to refuse choices that ultimately undermine our well-being, even if it disappoints others, is a form of self-respect and an essential aspect of Stoic wisdom. For those who find themselves constantly compromising their choices in the name of kindness, Stoicism offers a path towards reclaiming autonomy over their decisions. It encourages us to cultivate a balanced approach, where kindness is not extended at the cost of our own happiness or moral code, but rather in harmony with them. By striving for this balance, we can enhance our ability to make decisions that are not only kind, but also wise and virtuous, truly embodying the Stoic ideal of living a life guided by reason. This revised text expands on the original points by providing additional context and examples. It also explores the concept of Stoic freedom and self-respect in relation to making balanced decisions. Loss of genuine relationships. Stoicism, often misconstrued as a philosophy of cold indifference, offers a nuanced perspective on kindness in relationships. While acts of kindness are commendable, Stoics warn against dispensing them without discernment. Unbalanced kindness, like a river overflowing its banks, can paradoxically lead to shallow connections. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius valued genuine human connection as a key to a fulfilling life. However, they cautioned against letting the desire to please others erode our own needs and principles. Continually saying yes to avoid conflict might suppress our true selves, hindering the development of true intimacy where both partners feel safe to be fully themselves. This excessive people-pleasing can create relationships where our real personality and needs are obscured. People might come to like us for what we can do, not who we are, fostering resentment over time. Epictetus, another influential Stoic, believed that true relationships require mutual understanding and respect, which can only flourish through honest and open interaction. He emphasized the importance of self-respect and assertiveness regarding our needs and desires. The loss of genuine connection goes beyond failing to connect deeply. It's about the risk of not being truly known or understood. Interactions based solely on agreeableness deprive ourselves and others of the opportunity for a more meaningful and enriching exchange. Seneca, reflecting on friendship, noted that the most rewarding relationships are those where both parties can be completely frank, and mutual criticism is not just possible but encouraged, fostering genuine connection. Stoicism advises practicing moderation in our kindness, ensuring it's thoughtful, not merely reactive. It encourages setting boundaries to define how much we're willing to give and to whom. By doing so, we not only protect our well-being, but also invite a level of interaction that is more sincere and rewarding. This Stoic balance allows for relationships built not just on kindness, but also enriched by authenticity and mutual respect, leading to deeper and more fulfilling connections. Psychological impacts. Stoicism, a philosophy emphasizing emotional equilibrium, offers a valuable perspective on kindness. While kindness is undeniably a virtue, Stoics warn against excessive kindness that disrupts this balance. When we consistently prioritize others' needs over our own, feelings of resentment, anxiety, and even depression can arise. Imagine constantly putting out fires for others, neglecting your own flickering candle. This self-neglect leads to a sense of lost identity. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus champion kindness, but with a crucial caveat. It shouldn't compromise your emotional well-being. Continually acting with excessive kindness can make your own needs feel insignificant, creating a pressure cooker of suppressed desires. This can manifest as stress, overwhelm, and eventually, burnout. The Stoics believe true wisdom lies in acknowledging and addressing your needs with the same vigor you dedicate to others. The facade of perpetual generosity creates a constant state of anxiety, fearing disappointment. This clashes with the Stoic belief that peace comes from living by reason, not by the expectations of others. Excessive kindness can also chip away at your self-worth. It can feel like your value is solely based on usefulness, not your individuality. To counter these negative impacts, Stoicism emphasizes self-awareness. Reflect on your motivations and the consequences of your actions. Through introspection, you can cultivate a balanced approach to kindness, one that includes being kind to yourself. Marcus Aurelius, a key figure in Stoic thought, stressed acting in accordance with your own virtues and reason. He advocated considering how your actions affect not just others, but also your own state of mind and emotional health. Stoicism values kindness and societal betterment, but it champions personal well-being as well. The philosophy promotes a balanced approach, where acts of kindness are performed not at the expense of one's mental health, but in conjunction with it, ensuring your generosity enriches rather than depletes you. Mental health risks. While kindness is undeniably a wonderful quality, an unchecked pursuit of it can paradoxically lead us down a path of mental health challenges like depression and anxiety. This conundrum arises when our desire to be endlessly generous and accommodating overshadows our own emotional and psychological needs. Here, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers valuable insight. Stoicism advocates for a life rich in virtue, but balanced with a deep understanding of ourselves and a commitment to our well-being. It warns that neglecting our own needs in favor of others disrupts our inner harmony, ultimately leading to emotional turmoil. The Stoics valued a concept called apatheia, which translates not to a complete absence of emotions, but rather a state of freedom from distress. This freedom is achieved not by suppressing emotions, but by managing them wisely. When we consistently prioritize others at the expense of our own well-being, we risk feeling unappreciated and overwhelmed, a recipe for deteriorating mental health. This situation deviates from Stoic wisdom, which would advise us to guard against overextending ourselves to the point of mental exhaustion. Furthermore, the pressure to maintain an unending facade of kindness can also lead to a sense of inauthenticity, hindering genuine self-expression and contributing to feelings of isolation and loneliness. These feelings are potent risk factors for mental health disorders. The Stoic approach to this would be to encourage individuals to express their true feelings and needs, fostering authentic connections with both oneself and others. Stoicism also offers a path to resilience through its emphasis on reflection and self-examination. By regularly assessing our motivations and emotional states, we can identify when our acts of kindness might be serving others at the cost of our own mental health. This self-reflection empowers us to establish healthier boundaries and practice kindness in a way that extends compassion to ourselves as well. In essence, Stoicism doesn't advocate for less kindness, but for a more balanced approach. It emphasizes weighing acts of generosity against our own personal health and happiness, This balance is crucial to prevent a negative spiral into mental health difficulties and ensures that our desire to help others doesn't inadvertently harm ourselves. By integrating Stoic wisdom into our approach to kindness, we can safeguard our mental health while still making a positive contribution to the lives of others. Self-neglect. When we consistently prioritize the needs of others over our own, we risk a dangerous dance with self-neglect. This insidious pattern can manifest in various ways, each chipping away at our well-being. We might neglect our physical health, prioritizing errands and tasks for others, even as our bodies crave rest and nourishment. Sleep becomes a luxury sacrificed on the altar of immediate needs, and meals become hurried affairs, if they happen at all. The emotional toll can be just as severe. To maintain peace or avoid conflict, we might suppress our own feelings, leaving them to fester beneath the surface. This emotional neglect can lead to a sense of disconnection from ourselves and our true needs. Personal growth can also fall victim to this misplaced focus. We might forego opportunities for learning or self-improvement because they require time away from our caretaking duties. This stagnation hinders our potential to become better versions of ourselves, ultimately limiting our ability to serve others effectively. These well-intentioned behaviors, however, fly in the face of the Stoic principle of oikeiosis. Oikeiosis emphasizes the importance of appropriate self-care, a cornerstone of living a rational and harmonious life. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca stressed self-regard not as a selfish act, but as a fundamental aspect of human well-being. They argued that one cannot truly be of service to others if their own well-being is compromised. From this perspective, self-neglect is not just detrimental to the individual, but also to the community. An individual who is unwell or unhappy cannot contribute effectively to the welfare of others. Stoicism teaches us the value of discernment. It encourages us to recognize the boundaries between what is within our control and what is not. When we neglect ourselves in the name of helping others, we are ignoring our primary sphere of influence, ourselves. This misalignment can lead to a breeding ground of frustration and resentment. Stoics would argue that this negativity stems from a misunderstanding of where our true duties lie. According to Stoic philosophy, our first duty is to care for our own rational and moral health. This is directly within our control and forms the foundation from which all our actions flow. To combat self-neglect, Stoicism encourages the practice of self-reflection and moderation. It teaches us that caring for ourselves is not a retreat from altruism, but a prerequisite for it. By ensuring we are well-rested, physically healthy, and emotionally balanced, we are better equipped to help others effectively and without resentment. This balance between self-care and care for others is what enables us to live according to nature, fulfilling our responsibilities to both ourselves and our community in a sustainable and rational manner. Integrating Stoic practices into our lives doesn't diminish our kindness. Instead, it encourages us to extend it inward as well as outward. This approach ensures that our acts of kindness flow from a place of genuine well-being, making them more sustainable and impactful in the long run. By prioritizing our own well-being, we become better equipped to serve others and create a more harmonious world for all. Kindness, far from being a form of self-sacrifice, is an expression of a well-considered and balanced virtue. It encompasses both self-respect and self-compassion. This holistic approach enriches not just our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. It fosters a community where everyone's needs are genuinely respected and cared for. Stoicism offers core strategies to cultivate this kind of meaningful kindness. One is the practice of self-awareness. Through regular self-reflection, we examine our motives, the impact of our actions on ourselves and others, and whether our acts of kindness are truly beneficial. Are they driven by a genuine desire to help, or by a fear of conflict, or a need for approval? By cultivating self-awareness, we can better discern when our kindness is genuinely needed and when it might be compromising our own well-being or personal growth. As Marcus Aurelius emphasized, examining our intentions and ensuring they align with rational principles and personal virtue is crucial. Another key strategy is setting and enforcing healthy boundaries. This is essential for maintaining our well-being while helping others. Boundaries define how much we can give without harming ourselves, and they signal to others what is acceptable and what is not. This Stoic practice is not about being less kind, but about being wise in our kindness. By clearly communicating our limits, we can still offer support without depleting our own resources. Epictetus' emphasis on focusing on what is within our control directly applies here. Maintaining healthy boundaries is a way of honoring that principle. Moderation in all actions, including kindness, is another Stoic principle that applies here. The Stoics believe that excess of any kind could lead to imbalance and moral decay. By practicing moderation, we ensure that our kindness is thoughtful and appropriate to the situation, rather than compulsive or reactive. This approach helps us remain centered and keeps our acts of kindness aligned with our capabilities and true intentions. Finally, embracing the virtue of courage, as advised by Stoic philosophy, is essential. Kindness often requires us to step outside our comfort zone, to stand up for what's right, or to offer help even when it's difficult. By cultivating courage, we can overcome our fears and anxieties and act with kindness even in challenging situations. Through self-awareness, healthy boundaries, moderation, and courage, Stoicism provides a framework for practicing kindness that is both wise and sustainable. It allows us to enrich our own lives and the lives of others, fostering a more compassionate and supportive world. Kindness is a beautiful quality, one that allows us to connect with others, build strong relationships, and create a more positive world. However, navigating the complexities of kindness can be tricky. We often find ourselves struggling to say no, worried about disappointing others or appearing selfish. This is where Stoicism steps in, offering a powerful framework for balanced kindness. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of moral courage, the strength to act with reason and virtue even when it's difficult. This courage empowers us to resist the constant pressure to simply go along with everyone's demands. It teaches us that true kindness can sometimes involve setting boundaries and saying no, particularly when a request would be detrimental to ourselves or create unhealthy dependencies in others. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate gratitude and contentment with what we already have. This helps us detach from the urge to seek validation through endless giving. By appreciating our own lives and valuing ourselves, we become less likely to use kindness as a tool for external approval. Instead, our actions stem from genuine care and rational decision-making. By integrating these Stoic principles into our daily lives, we can reap the rewards of kindness and generosity without the downsides of overextending ourselves. This balanced approach not only protects our well-being, but also makes our kindness more effective and appreciated. Ultimately, it fosters healthier and more fulfilling relationships. As we conclude our exploration of kindness, remember that the true strength of Stoicism lies in nurturing not just our external connections, but also our inner selves. It's not about giving less, but about giving wisely. Our generosity should enrich our own lives as much as it enriches the lives of others. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Stoic Journal. Your engagement strengthens our community and aids in our collective pursuit of a balanced and thoughtful life. For further insights on living a virtuous life, explore the suggested videos on screen. Keep growing, reflecting, and cultivating the best within yourself.